Well, this will be a very quick lesson on grammar questions on the new digital SAT. So take a look at this question. We can tell immediately that it's a grammar question because they're going to throw in this little terminology of conventions of standard English. So here's this quick little blurb about the Hindenburg, which reads, when the 804-foot Hindenburg was launched in 1936, it was the largest airship in the world. However, the highly flammable hydrogen gas used to fill the blimp, where it says blip, was always a safety concern. On May 6, 1937, in Lakehurst, New Jersey, as the Hindenburg landed, it suddenly burst into flames, killing 36 of the 97 passengers and crew on board. This horrific disaster marked the end of the use of airships for passenger transportation. Well, let's first fix this little error of blip into blimp, which makes a little bit more sense. But let's hyper-focus on what we've highlighted here, which is the most important part. Now, when you're doing the standard English questions, the grammar questions, just zero in on that most important sentence that you're looking at here. You don't usually need anything else outside of that particular question, or particular sentence, rather. So when it says, on May 6, 1937, in Lakehurst, New Jersey, as the Hindenburg landed, it suddenly burst into flames. Now, you can see here they give us a number of options. Now, not a single word has changed. They're just be playing around with some punctuation. Let's talk about the 4 different punctuation marks they're giving to us in this particular sentence. They've not given us the colon, but they've given us a comma, a period, a semicolon, and a dash. Now, let's talk about these. Now, I always save the comma for last because comma rules are a little bit weird. And so if it's not a traditional comma conjunction, it may still actually work. So I like to eliminate the other choices before I choose a comma. So a couple things. I know if I'm going to use a semicolon, I have to have a full sentence on both sides of that semicolon. So look what's in front of it. It says, on May 6, 1937 in Lakehurst, New Jersey, as the Hindenburg landed. Well, if I didn't have that word as, I just simply had the Hindenburg landed, that would be a full sentence. But the word as doesn't make it a full sentence, so I can't choose C. And if I can't choose C with a semicolon, I can't choose B with a period. And it's another way of realizing those two both can't be right answers. There can only be one right answer. And if a period works, a semicolon would work. So you can almost eliminate both of those immediately. And the dash is also kind of tricky. The dash also has to have a full sentence in front of it before you can even consider using the dash. So once again, by logic, if a semicolon doesn't have a full sentence in front of it, therefore the period doesn't have a full sentence in front of it, and therefore the dash wouldn't have a full sentence in front of it. None of those could work. And so therefore, when they give you maybe a period or a semicolon or a dash, more than likely they're all going to be wrong because you have to have a full sentence before you can consider any of those. And that's why the comma is going to be right. Now, even though we may not know why we're putting a comma in, it doesn't matter. We're just simply here trying to get our 1 point on this particular SAT question. So what's really happening grammatically is this word as a subordinating conjunction, is actually beginning this adverb or adverbial clause, and that's why we have the comma. But even if you didn't know all that terminology, you'll be fine just to know that the comma is right because the period, the semicolon, and the dash cannot work in this particular sentence. And this is your little mini lesson on conventions of standard English.